The United States of America is the third biggest country in the world, and it is probably the country that has had the greatest influence on the rest of the world. Inventions like planes, telephones, and computers have completely changed the way we live. And imagine life without rock music, Hollywood films, and the fashions they have made universal: jeans, t-shirts, and trainers, as well as a range of brands you can see in shops everywhere. How did the USA become the world power that it is today? US history, as we know it, started with the arrival of English settlers on ships like the Mayflower in the early 16th century. After winning a war against the British, the Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4th, 1776, Independence Day. After this came a period of rapid expansion to the famous American Wild West, during which many Native American Indians were killed, and a civil war between the South and the North, which ended the practice of slavery, but also left the nation deeply divided. But it has been migration that has probably had the greatest influence on the USA, as people from all over the world have come to the United States for generations in search of a new life, freedom, and the American dream. The influences of these migrants can be seen in many of the great US metropolises, from the Latin American influences in California and Miami, to the French influences of New Orleans, and of course the strong African American influence everywhere, not least in the capital, Washington, D.C., where the majority of the population is African American. But perhaps the place that most represents America's international mix is the Big Apple, New York City, a city that you can see in more films than any other city in the world. The USA has the second highest number of tourists of any country in the world. Every year, millions of people visit the country. They go to Disneyland or Disney World. They go to Hollywood to see the Walk of Fame. They go to the casinos of Las Vegas and visit the enormous Mount Rushmore National Memorial, a monument to 4 of the country's most important presidents. And some come for the enormous variety of landscapes, from the beaches of Hawaii, California, and Florida, to the magnificent forests of the national parks of Yosemite and Yellowstone, and the spectacular wilderness of Alaska. And of course, there is the Grand Canyon, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Can you think of any other famous places?